questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming on even deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch alongs to the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Yo, good evening. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. And it's the weekend. And not only that, Premier League football is back. Now, apologies obviously for this late upload. I got in from work late, had to deal with the girls. And now I've been just sitting down now to obviously record Roy's presser. But before we get started, I just want to say a massive thank you for those who were in the comment section just wishing me well, just get well soon and stuff. To be fair, it wasn't anything drastic, guys. 14 Eve last week Sunday had a little festival. They do it every year. I'm very fussy when it comes to like food from stalls and stuff. It's just how I've always been. Steph, bless her heart, like I went home to obviously do a recording with JC. Steph brought me some food home, and I didn't want to say no, just out of respect. And yeah, after that, it was mad. It was mad. But hey, listen, I'm all good. I'm all sprightly again. So yeah, let's get into this. So, Roy was asked quite a few things regarding Villa, including his thoughts on Emre and what sort of test we were expecting against Villa. And Roy said, we're expecting a severe one. They are good. They finished 7th last season and got into Europe, and they strengthened this season. Like most Prem teams, they are to be both respected and feared because of what they're capable of doing. We have to be prepared so we're not caught by surprise. They've built a fortress at Villa Park. They are good, but so are we. I do admire what Unai Emery has done at the club. He's built a good team. The owners have backed him. Their goal will be to get to Europe again. We have to work hard to deal with the task that they will pose. And yes, being in Europe may be a strain, obviously, as the season goes on. But their squad may be big enough. I don't know. So a lot to say about Villa, paying a lot of homage to Unai Emery. And obviously respecting Villa as a club, because I think we've only beaten 3 times at Villa Park. So, yes, it's never an easy place to go. Never an easy place to go. And, yeah, I mean, we'll get into the injuries in a minute. He was then asked about Eze. Now, obviously, Eze's done amazing. He's got into England set up. And Roy said it's clear that he showed Gareth during training that he deserved to get another cap for England. And obviously, he got that cap coming off the bench against Scotland. Same goes for Mark Gay. He's saying that Ebbs has done really well to adapt to the Premier League from the Championship, and he's moved further forward with his development and performances. Hopefully, his call-ups will be of huge benefit to us, and he will need to keep his level up so he can keep being an integral figure for England. So obviously, as per usual, huge praise for Eze. He was then asked, has he set any targets for Edouard? And he said it's dangerous to set targets for strikers. Their target should be to play well in every game that they play. When you start saying this is the number, this could have a negative effect. If they go for a rough spell and there's a target, that could hinder them. So, for example, if we're to say, I expect you to get 15 goals, and then he goes for a rough spell, he might have injuries, and he might be on like 2 goals or something, then that might play on his mind, in the back of his mind, in his head, I've got this target to hit and I may not be anywhere near it and stuff, and that could hinder performances. So that's why Roy said he doesn't set specific targets like that. But he does say we hope he continues the levels from the end of this, last season and the beginning of this season, because he's had a good start. 3 Premier League goals. And hopefully if he continues that trajectory, we've got on our hands 10 to 15 goal a season striker potentially. So fingers crossed. He was then asked about Edouard. Does he fit the way you want to play? Does he fit the way you want to play now with the players around him? And Roy said he's capable of playing in any system because he has all the tools. He needs to keep that consistent in his game. He has made improvements to his game, and that is evident in his shots on goal and assists. And there was a crazy stat that went out that he's had I think 19 shots. I think only Haaland and maybe one other player's had more shots on goal than him. So obviously the volume of shots he's having has improved, where he may have only been having 2 or 3 shots previously. So that's obviously credit to himself and credit to Roy, the coaching staff as well. The dreaded injury updates. Now, yes, it's very likely, and we're expecting Mark Gay to miss this game against Villa, which Roy was saying. He's jarred his hip, but he feels that it's a minor injury. He said that we're sad to lose Mark because he's a key player. If he had about 5 days, then we might have got him fit. Just saying that the turnaround from obviously him coming back from England duties, he's not going to be available. He does say that Holding is okay and he's done well since he's come in. And he also had lots of praise for Chris Richards, saying that he's come back and he's played well, obviously, for the US. He has confirmed that Tompkins has a minor injury. And even with Elise, we can't put a time frame on it. Because obviously we've got to be mindful that there's not a recurrence. Because obviously if there's a recurrence, that will mean that he's going to be out for a longer period of time the next time round. Will Hughes is fit though, so that's good. And Francois hopefully will be back in grass training in a couple of weeks. And then obviously after that, he's going to have to then get used to getting up to speed. So training wise, should be back with us in a couple of weeks. And then it may take a couple more weeks for him to, obviously grace the field with the other boys. It's nice to just hear that there's actually a time frame now with Francois, because obviously everything was so up in the air, and I know we're really managing his injury. I believe it was a back strain, and just being really mindful and being careful with him, because obviously he's still quite young. The other injury, Lerma, he's had a scan. Had a scan on his hamstring. So Roy's basically saying, listen, he's played 2 games, he played 2 90 minutes, I believe. And it's just hopefully it's not a massive hamstring problem. Hopefully it's a case where it's precautionary, or it's just a tweak, and that he won't be out for too long. But obviously if it's anything more than that, it could be 3 to 4 weeks to as far as 6 weeks, depending on the severity. So yeah, fingers crossed on that one. It's not cool, but obviously it's good news that Hughes is back. But Lerma's had a great start to the season, so it's going to be a massive loss for us. He did also had players from South America and Africa. They tend to travel a lot, and that's the risk when you got a lot of good quality players from those continents. They're traveling a lot. They time zones, all of these things play a factor during international duty. This is why we hate it. This is why we hate international duty. We always get injuries from it. Also on Emery, he also said, going back to Emery, sorry, he's been good wherever he's been, won a few European trophies, and I expect people expected him to fail in England, and he hasn't. And basically what Roy was saying here is that everything's always kind of if you do it in England, can you do it in England aspect, no matter what your accolades are. And so Roy was giving him a lot of praise, saying, listen, Arsenal may have regretted letting him go as soon as he did, because he's obviously just gone off and won trophies again. So fair play to Emery. He's obviously done a great job with Villa. Then he was also again about Europe, and obviously, she mentioned about Brighton making Europe, and if that's still the goal, obviously, in the future. And he said, listen, anyone who says it's not a realistic opportunity for us is doing us a disservice. Leicester City won the league a couple of seasons ago, and they rightfully did so, no matter how I'm sure no one ever expected it to happen, but they deserved it. you know. So as long as we play well, as long as we fight hard and, you know, do our business, it can't rule it out completely, you know, but it's obviously going to be down to us. Then he was asked, Mateta, he said, so Mateta has started well. Could Mateta and Eddie start together? And Roy basically said, listen, when he's come on, he's shown us that we can trust him. We won't think that we can only play one system. And if that's the day we think they can play together, then they will. So he's kind of keeping his cards close to his chest there, saying, look, we know we can trust him off the bench, which is good. We could potentially trust him to start, but we're not going to give that away. But he's also added that like it allows us to play another way if need be, which is a positive, you know, especially since we're obviously waiting on Elise and Francis to come back, you know, so that's good news. And lastly, momentum, because obviously we've had a very good start. We've had a very, very good start to the season, 7 points from 12. And he was asked about momentum. Has the international break affected that? And he would just basically say, listen, we have to make sure that all players are ready. Both the players that have travelled and the ones that stayed. The mood is good in the camp. And even with the injury news, we have a good group who will step in when needed. To go on good runs, we have to work hard and we have to play well. So yes, there's the international break that's come and gone, but that shouldn't stop the momentum because obviously we've had a good start to the season. But we have a very, very tough test away at Villa tomorrow. So yeah, that was all of Roy's presser. It was like 24 minutes, I believe. I've tried to condense this as much as I can from what he said. But yeah, all we can do now is wait for this game at Villa Park, which will be tough. A very, very tough game, and hopefully we can get something out of it. So yeah, that is all, people. That is all. Big up to everyone. Not guaranteed, but possible watch along tomorrow for the game. But there will definitely be a match reaction on Sunday. And guys, as always, please like, share, subscribe, the like button, even commenting after the video and the subscription. All that helps with algorithms, which gets obviously our videos out there for people, brings about more traction. And honestly, the love and support you've shown us over the last couple of years is, listen, we won't be here without you. So we really, really appreciate it. So yeah, guys, until next time, up the palace. Here he goes.